Hi there, I'm David Letterman, and welcome to the show. We got a great show for you tonight. Let me tell you what's going on. A couple of years ago, it seemed like a couple of years ago, I signed up to have cable television installed here at my home. And as you know, if you've ever had to deal with cable TV people, they make you stay in your home all day and wait for the guy to hook it up. Well, this is my fourth pass at getting it hooked up, and I really didn't want to screw this opportunity up. So that's where I am. That's why I'm here. And as soon as the guy comes and hooks me up, I'm going to race right into New York and be there in the studio with you. In the meantime, we have a fine show. Paul and the band, of course, are there. Some wonderful guests, but I'm really excited about getting cable TV. This brochure here, I think, pretty much says it all for me. Cable TV offers you a whole new world of entertainment and information. And boy, do I need it now. So I'll wait here on the cable guy, and the second he shows up and hooks up the service, I'll be back into the studio, and we're going to have plenty of fun. So we'll be right back, folks. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. You've certainly selected a good night to be here. We have a fine program. I saw something interesting in the paper this morning. You know, John Glenn, of course, is running for president, and apparently someone has suggested that he needs to project more of a warm, friendly image. So he's now offering to give to anyone who needs one a back rub. I thought that was unprecedented in the world of presidential politics. Sure, thank you very much. Just put it there. I'm still here in my house. The cable guy has not showed up yet, but I'm confident they'll be here sometime before the end of today. We got a great show for you. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, please now say hello to our good friend and musical director, Mr. Paul Schaefer.
Dave, thank you. Hey, thank you so much. Well, we have been having a kind of a fabulous time here, Dave, in your absence, but we miss you. You know, we're waiting. We know you're going to get here eventually. I just want to say that I got a lot of respect for you, babe. You're doing a good thing. You're doing a courageous thing, and just a wonderful thing, for all mankind in the 80s, and it is the cable generation anyway. But guys, don't you think? How about it for David Letterman?
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you very much. And, of course, as you remember from an earlier show, Paul does have cable. And before the end of the day, I'm pretty confident that I, too, will have cable. We have a fine show, and we have some things we're going to do. And how much time do we have, actually, left, Hal?
56:34.
56:34, so we have virtually a full hour for you. And there will be a lot of stuff to do in that next hour. So I tell you what, let's do this. Why don't you just make yourselves at home, everybody, and then we can see. No, wait a minute. I didn't mean you guys, actually. It was just kind of a figure of speech. I didn't mean the crew. I tell you what, I'll show everybody around. I'll show everybody around. All right, let's go. This will work out much better. I thought you'd be interested in taking a look at this. This is my mailbox. It was knocked down during the big snowstorm, and I put it back up. Did a pretty nice job, I think. Just some boulders and mud, the way the Incas used to do it. They were the first civilization to actually have mailboxes. And I think we're looking at a piece of equipment that'll be here for a long time to come. How you doing, Jose?
Hello.
Nice to see you. It's one of my neighbors. This is my emergency generator right here, and this is the circuit breaker box. Most homes, I think, now have circuit breakers instead of fuses, and I applaud that. This is our vegetable garden, and for my money, the vegetables you grow in your own backyard are the best. For example, take a look at this broccoli. Boy, you'll never be able to buy anything like that in a store. And let me show you the cantaloupes we have over here. These are really nice. We believe these will be ready about the first part of January. There's some fine eating there. This is the ladder I've talked about before on the show. Let me show you how it works. Oh. Prop it up against something like this. and then you can, well, I'll just show you. You can go on up like that. Have to be very careful, though. This ladder conducts electricity. This is where my family stays when they come to visit. Not too bad. A hide-a-bed down here. Is that all you need? Well, I hope you enjoyed that. So, a lot of things to do around the place. How much time do we have now, Hal?
55:43, Dave.
Great. The important thing is we have plenty of time to get everything in we'd planned. The cable guy is not, is he?
No.
Not here yet. All right, well, as soon as he comes and installs the cable, I'll be back in the studio. I kind of wanted to save this for right now. It's kind of special. It's a stupid pet trick with our dogs, Bob and Stan, and some potato chips. You've seen stupid pet tricks on the show. And my trick is that me and my dogs sound the same when we eat potato chips. Here. You know, the first one will be me eating potato chips. Ready? Okay, now, that's how I sound. This will be how Bob sounds. Ready, Bob? The problem is Bob takes this into a different room and Stan sort of starts without me. Here, Stan. See, it's hard to tell really from just the sound who is eating the potato chips. So it's important when you eat potato chips, always do it in a well-lighted room. It's a joke. I don't know what it means exactly, but it's a joke. Okay. And very nice, Bob. Well done. And how much time now, Hal?
55:13, Dave.
Okay. Is the, I guess the cable guy would have knocked or something. All right, well, let's go on with the show at this point. And what do we have? Is there a commercial here, Hal, or something?
Yeah.
Okay, Hal thinks there'll be a commercial right here. So, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Obviously still in the house, and I'm telling you, the second the cable guy shows up, we get the cable back to the studio, and in the meantime, I'm very excited about tonight's show. Linda Ronstadt is here, comedian Jerry Seinfeld, and my first guest. This gentleman has been with us a couple of times previously, and, well, he's back here tonight. We're not actually here. He's in the studio. I'm here in my own home. In fact, I'm not even sure I'd have him to my home. No, I would. My next guest is a very funny writer. He's also an actor and a director, and as I pointed out, making a return visit to this program. A show in which he starred, Charlie Zant, famous play, has just been nominated for an ace. We're delighted to have him with us tonight. Please welcome Charles Grodin. Charles. Charles. Go ahead and have a seat there, Charles, if you will. Charles, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, gee, I wish someone had mentioned you weren't going to be here. It's awkward to come out and do a talk show in front of millions of people, and to sit out here by yourself is really...
Well, I appreciate you coming, and just keep your hands off my belongings, if you will. Charles, now, first of all, Charles, do you yourself have cable?
Yes, I do.
Uh-huh.
Could you speak up a little bit?
I'm sorry. I say, do you have cable?
I do, yes.
Yeah, well, I've covered that, I guess. And do you enjoy it?
What?
I say, do you enjoy it?
Oh, yeah, I love cable.
Yeah. Now, this Charlie Zant that you just did, that was for a cable concern, wasn't it?
That was for cable.
Yeah. And it won you a nomination for an ace?
ACE, that's like Emmys, or that's the cable awards are called the ACE Awards. Yes.
What does that mean, the ace? What is that, do you know?
Best show, you know, like whatever, a Tony or an Oscar or an Emmy or something like. How you doing?
But I mean, the ace itself, ACE, does that mean anything?
I don't know, that's just the name of the award.
Yeah. All right.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
Are you talking to me, Charles?
No. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Indiana.
No,
is Charles talking to me?
The blonde lady in the third row, actually.
Oh.
Where are you from? I'm sorry. No,
All right, I tell you what. During the commercial, you can
They
go up
look
there.
familiar, that's all. What, David?
Yeah, during the commercial, you can go up there and mingle with the audience and
Right.
Whatever you want. Now,
I think I'll be finished here in about 10 minutes.
maybe not that long, Charles. Now, in Charlie's Aunt, you had to wear a dress, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now, was that an interesting experience for you?
No more than usual.
What was it like performing in women's wear?
Same as just putting on a dress and going out for the evening.
And was it a difficult role for you?
When you said you wouldn't have me to your house, that was a joke, right?
Oh yeah, no.
Just a little preoccupied. I want to just clear my mind before we go
that
on
was
with this. That's your sense of humor, right?
That was a joke. Now, Charles, you mentioned my house. Let me ask you something about your house. I have a quote here from Paul Simon, an acquaintance, friend, peer of yours. Paul Simon once said that your unflamboyant lifestyle is the clearest manifestation of a neuroses. Now, he's talking about your apartment there. Do you have any response to that?
Well, that's your apartment, right, we're looking at now?
Yes, this is my home, actually. It's
There are places there's something like that. Yeah, Paul Simon is a kind of like a, like a party hat and a tutor guy, like, those things, you blow them out and they come back. He does that a lot. So to him, the way I live is, like, not flamboyant enough, but I consider it fine.
Well, how do you live, if you had to describe your life?
I've got a chair and a table and a bed.
Just a minute. Is that the guy? No? Okay.
That's your cable guy?
No, that's, I think that's Stan eating a neighbor child, but it's okay. He's had most of his shots, so don't worry. Anyway, Charles, now tell me about your lifestyle again. What kind of a place do you have?
Why are you there again? What are you doing there? You're waiting for the cable man to come?
That's right.
I had cleaning to pick up tonight, too. I could have been somewhere.
No, now, Charles, we can get somebody to pick the cleaning up for you. Now tell me about the kind of life you lead.
No, there's nothing there. I'm just a regular person with a regular life. I mean, I'm not going to tell you things about my life any more than you're going to tell me things about your life,
Do you see a lot of women?
No, I'm married.
Well, see, we didn't know that. How long have you been married?
2 months.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Charles, are you really married, or did you do that for the cheap applause?
I'm really married.
Well, good. I'm glad. Now, tell me about your grandfather. Was it your great-great-grandfather that helped write the Gettysburg Address?
That's right. Yes, he did. Abraham Grodin.
And tell us how that happened. Was he a friend of Lincoln's?
He was an associate of Lincoln. They had a falling out because my grandfather was a very aggressive guy, and whenever he was around, he kind of took the position. If he'd be with Lincoln and something, hey, Abe, he would always turn around, and Lincoln kind of got fed up with him, and he wanted to say he didn't like 7 years ago. That was Lincoln's idea, and his point was that 100 years after the speech was given, nobody would know what 80 meant,
right.
Which I think is the case. Do you know what 80 means? How long that is? See, my grandfather was right, and
well, I know, Charles.
He wanted to say 87 years ago, and they had their falling out, and
that was it?
He used to use the word stupid a lot. He called Lincoln stupid. You're stupid, with a Y, S-T-Y-U-P-I-D.
So they just got on one another's nerves.
You would have gone on well with him, actually.
What did he do after his affiliation with Lincoln ended?
He had a talk show.
Apparently it was the Dumont Network, I'm guessing, wasn't it?
That's right.
Now, Charles, I know you're a busy man. You're going to Los Angeles in the next couple of days. Tell the folks what the next project we can see you featured in will be.
Well, I'll be with Steve Martin at Christmas, a picture called The Lonely Guy. And then a picture with Gene Wilder, and then a picture of my own called Dreamers.
Dreamers. Now, a picture of your own, you mean...
That I wrote.
You wrote it?
Yeah.
You are a very good writer. We mentioned earlier, before the show, you were telling people at the office about the Marlo Thomas show that you were on recently.
Right.
And that was completely written by you, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it turned out very nice.
Thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to say before we wrap this up, Charles?
Yes. I think I should be paid more money for doing the show.
Charles, I agree.
Without you here, you know, it's not a way, you know, this is like one-on-one without the other one.
Yeah.
And that was canceled, you know.
Charles, I appreciate you putting up under less than perfect ideal circumstances.
Well, thank you, you know, and it's worth waiting for, the cable, and I think you've made the right decision.
Thank you very much, Charles. We'll try to get your laundry picked up. Charles Grodin, ladies and gentlemen. The second the cable guy shows up, I'll be there. We'll be right back. Yeah, this is working out much better than any of us dreamed, and welcome back to the show. And, whoop, there's the dogs. I don't want to get your hopes up, but this could be the guy. I'm gonna see. Hi. How you doing? Come on in. Nice to see you.
Oh, nice to meet you.
How are you?
Hi.
What's your name?
Gary Willis.
Gary, come on in. This is the cable guy. We've been waiting all day for you, Gary. How long will this take?
It depends on how tough of a job it is.
Okay.
Let's see where
Well, come on in. And we have one here, and then we have one in the bedroom upstairs.
one in the bedroom upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see the one upstairs, please.
Okay. All right. Take Gary upstairs.
What's with the cameras?
You just missed. My dog just did a trick. Don't worry about it. It'll be all right. Come on up. About 2.5 hours. I'm so excited. Sure, go ahead. It's right there on the wall. Gonna get it today for sure.
Hello. Yeah. These people are home. Right.
Oh, somebody else wasn't home, so they missed out on
Yeah,
cable.
he's on his way to help me over.
I like to refer to it as the miracle of cable. I was home, and I'm not missing out on the miracle.
Oh, yeah, they were going to connect, they had to just tack up from a second set, because their ladder wouldn't reach the peak of the house. I was going to go do it with him as soon as we finish this house.
About 2.5 hours? 2.5 hours.
Well, I don't know. I told him I'd meet him here.
Somebody not showing up?
No, my partner's coming here to do this.
Oh. Oh, good. So would that cut down on the 2.5 hours? Oh, good.
Well, you're in a rush?
Well, no.
I'd like to explain how I'm going to run this.
Okay.
Okay, since you don't have a basement under here, I'm going to, with the TV here, I'm going to drill out this wall, wrap around the porch, all the way around, because we come in with power and Marbell.
Yeah.
Okay, and for the upstairs set, I'm going to go out on the nearest wall on the upstairs, wrap around and meet in the front where the other ones are meeting.
This won't do any structural damage, will it?
No, nothing at all.
Did you ever work for CBS Sports?
No.
Oh. I saw that cap and I thought, well, if CBS Sports guys are hooking this up, I would have asked for Brent Musburger, but I guess that doesn't apply. Okay, well, go ahead, Gary. Is there anything I can do for you?
No, nothing right now.
Okay. I'll just be right here if you need me.
Okay.
This is the happiest day of my life. Gary's too. Bob, come here. You're going to end up with another nostril or something worse. The government has been training these cable-sniffing dogs for years, and one day their use to mankind will be invaluable. And this doesn't look that bad. I thought maybe there'd be some problems with wire and stuff laying around, but I can live with this. That's no problem. How much longer will this take you?
About 2 hours.
2 hours. Do I have to be here for the whole 2 hours?
Someone has to be here.
Oh.
Don't leave me in the house alone.
Okay, well, I could leave some of these folks here.
Okay.
So it'd be all right if I took off?
Fine.
All right, that's something I have to do. Thanks for your help, Gary.
Nice meeting you, David.
Star-studded specials? Well, my long wait is nearly at an end. Gary tells me that in a couple hours, I'll have cable. Boy, I feel like a new man. We'll be right back.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. You know, everybody knows what's going on. So I guess I'm just going to introduce a very, very nutty guy. This is very impressive. He just appeared last week at Carnegie Hall. A very talented comedian. He's going to be working this weekend at a place called the Comedy Works in Philadelphia. Please welcome Jerry Seinfeld.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's great to be here where we are on the show. And there I was a couple of weeks ago. I was in Washington, D.C., and I had nothing to do. And I went to the Smithsonian Institute, which you've all been there. Of course, Smith and his son have done a fabulous job. I saw a thing there. I just felt I had to tell you about it. They have a display, you know, of all the things that they took to the moon on the first trip. Some of the personal effects. They have Neil Armstrong's toothbrush on display in this glass case. I'm not making this up. It's too stupid to make up. They have a plaque underneath the toothbrush. This is the truth. Says, on loan from Neil Armstrong. Can you believe this? A toothbrush on loan. I'm thinking, Neil, give him the brush. You're making good money now. What, does he come in late at night, wake up the security guard? I need to wash up. I left the brush in the case. I told them it was a loan. I would like to have been in the space program myself, but I didn't think they would take me because I'm left-handed. And I thought that was like a, you know, inferior. Anybody left-handed? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Usually they have trouble clapping. That was good. You ever feel that left is a negative? In the language, it's a negative thing. Leftovers, they're not very good. 2 left feet, left-handed compliment. On television, you ever see a crook named Righty? I've never seen that. Everything right, they make a positive thing. Right on, the Bill of Rights. You go to a party, there's nobody there. Where'd everybody go? They left. I grew up on Long Island. Did I mention that? No. Grew up on Long Island. Thank you. Ooh. It wasn't that exciting, but thank you very much. I loved going to amusement parks when I was a kid. I don't know why they really called them amusement parks. Never got off a roller coaster and felt that was amusing. Usually they're kind of exciting. But bumper cars was my favorite ride. Still a classic ride. Not really made more elaborate over the years. Remember this one guy on the ride that could never do it? Always one guy in the bumper cars. He's the loser of the ride. As soon as the ride gets started, he gets stuck in a pack of empty cars. You know, he's got the attendant hanging off the back, helping him steer it. Stop crying. One guy that loves to hit going around every time, saliva on his chin, you know. Very aggressive pit crew working on the car. And you and I, we were on there trying to do our best. Remember how bad you feel when you hit somebody that you don't know at all? You know, a complete stranger, and it's hostile. You ram somebody, you know. And they turn around and look at you, and what can you say? I'm sorry, but that's the ride. There's nothing to say. There was one car too pathetic. Nobody would hit them. They were so bad, you wouldn't even go near them. Remember, I'm sure you remember the worst car on the ride, the helpless father and son team. This is the most out-of-it car. They're just, ho-ho, son, turn the wheel. You don't understand the ride. I had pets when I was a kid a lot. I had a parakeet. The only problem he had was we had a living room where my mother put up mirrors all along the walls. Because suburban mothers feels that this gives you a feeling of space. You ever heard this concept? My mother thinks it makes it seem like you have an entire other room. I would like to see the jerk that walks up to a mirror and goes, hey, look, there's a whole other room in there. There's a guy in there, looks just like me. But my parakeet will fall for this. Parakeets are not that bright. You let them out of their cage, they fly across the room. He would hit that little head of his right on the mirror, and they have no padding on their heads. It's just, straight back the way they do their hair. And I would watch him hit it. He would fall to the ground, and he would try and get back going again. And I would look at him and I'd think, you jerk. I mean, even if he thought it was another room, you would think he'd at least try and avoid hitting the other parakeet. Great, Paul.
Thank you, Jerry.
Tremendous.
I got to say that Dave is on his way. He's on his way in.
How much more?
From
I
his
have
place.
to go.
Well, he's on his way. He'll be here any minute, I know.
All right.
And we got Linda Ronstadt coming up
right.
in the next half hour.
Well, it's a great, whatever we're having here.
I feel it's my duty to, ask you something.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Well.
Oh, this is like, all right, we'll do
I guess,
panel.
we're on TV. We got to do something. What about Carnegie Hall?
Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
Nifty club.
You played there.
Yeah.
Nice room, but a very, very hip room, though.
Well, it's like they have like open mic night there on Mondays now at Carnegie Hall. So
Very
I followed Yasha Heifetz did a bit with a violin, slayed me. The guy he's so funny, and normally I don't like prop comics, but he was very, very funny.
It's sad, though, to see those guys, Heifetz and everybody in the bar out in front, trying to get...
Comedy's the thing now. Everyone's trying to get on that bandwagon.
How do you do? Thank you very much. Thank you. That's very pleasant. Thank you very much for showing up. Thank you, Jerry.
Boy.
I understand you were tremendously funny, as always.
Thanks.
And Paul, I understand you were especially glib tonight.
Yes.
Dave, they say a lot of things about you, but I know what you're going through. I just want
Well, it was hell, but it works out fine. I now, as far as I know, have cable television, ladies and gentlemen. I feel... Thank you. I feel like a full human being at long last.
You look different, Dave. You look so different now.
Do you have cable?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have cable.
Now, how far did you get with the Carnegie Hall? I just heard that.
Well, it was, I played the room, I took the money, and I left.
Uh-huh. And from Carnegie Hall, you're going on to another famous
I'm
landmark?
going on to, well, now that you've played Carnegie, there's very few rooms left that really are exciting, so I'm going to the Comedy Works in Philadelphia,
All right.
which is about 28 people, and no, it's a great club. I'm opening a club in Tulsa. Tulsa, big Tulsa.
Sure, yeah.
People come to see you from Tulsa.
Listen, thanks for being here again.
Oh.
I appreciate it. I'm sorry I missed most of the stand-up.
I did fine. I'm all right.
Nice to see you again.
Thank
Jerry
you, Dave.
Seinfeld, ladies and gentlemen. Jerry Seinfeld.
Very nice, Jerry. Thank you.
Well, this is turning out just fine. Jerry, I thought Charles... And this just in, ladies and gentlemen. All right, my next guest, we're very excited to have her with us tonight. One of the most popular performers in the music business. Her latest album is a departure from all of her other works. Let me show you what we have here. It's entitled What's New? Ladies and gentlemen, Linda Ronstadt. Thank you very much for being here. I certainly appreciate that.
We were laughing because one of the guys, and the guy that's supposed to be my boyfriend, the romantic-looking one,
Yeah.
is in real life my guitar player in the band, was cracking up because they all know him, It takes the mystique away when you know what the guy looks like.
Now, what is
4 in
his
the
name?
morning. Danny Korchmar.
Danny Korchmars.
Coons, it was Coons.
Let me ask you, first of all, let me ask you about the cupcakes. Did you get your cupcakes?
I got the cupcakes.
Now, that seemed to be pretty urgent.
I didn't have time to eat.
So they told me that you wanted as many cupcakes as we could carry?
No, I just wanted, like a cupcake. That's
Uh-huh.
all. I just thought it was like a casual request. I said, I need a cupcake.
What kind were they?
Chocolate and vanilla.
Yeah, so you're kind of a health nut then.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have time to talk about the album first? Okay, tell me about the This is a beautiful photograph here.
Thank you.
Now tell me about the dress there, Linda. What, did you pick that out?
Well, you know, when I was a little girl, my sister used to go off to the prom in net formals, and that was in the 50s, and I thought that was just the end of the world, you know, the way you could look. And because this album, the songs are from the 20s, 30s, and 40s, but Nelson Riddle is known as a kind of a vintage arranger from the 50s. And
he dresses like that, too, doesn't he?
He dresses like that. And it's, I wanted to represent the sort of the lusher side of the 50s, you know, because we've been exploring the 50s a lot in rock and roll, and it's the kind of angular Picasso shapes and muddy colors, you know.
Yeah.
So, and there was this whole other side where people went off to nightclubs and they were always racing around in their Thunderbirds and they were all dressed real snappy. And in my little imagination, they wore net formals. So I got that from a secondhand store.
Now, the music is a complete departure. Were you, I mean, are you expecting people who have been your fans for years and years, what will be their reaction when they go to Radio City and see you with a huge orchestra and hear this kind of music? Do you have any idea about that?
I have no idea. I really don't. We tried the hardest we could to make sure that people realized that that was what they were going to get. But, you know, the music is so beautiful. This material is just... it's so profound on so many levels, you know, not only the lyric, but the changes in the sophistication of the music. It's brilliant, and Nelson Riddle is a genius, and there's nobody to compare with the kinds of arrangements that he does. He has a very profound understanding of jazz, and he knows how to translate it into an orchestrated sound without sacrificing what the sort of vital elements of the music are, you know, and making it sound like over-sentimentalized hogwash, you know. So I love it. I've always loved his music. You know?
So is that the reason you decided to do this album?
No, the reason I decided to do the album is because I just was thinking about the songs. Someone gave me a Charlie Parker record, and it had a ballad medley with a lot of these tunes on it, and I became infected with them. My father sang them a lot when I was a kid. He has a beautiful ballad style.
That's interesting. On the album, I was looking at it, you've actually dedicated this to your dad, haven't you?
I did. He sang a lot of those songs at the piano, and he's a real crooner, my dad. With a beautiful, rich voice. He's still got his chops at 71 or however old he is, and should I live so long and sing that great, I'll be happy, you know.
How are your chops, by the way?
Well, I sent mine to school when I went to do Pirates of Penzance and took some voice lessons, which is not something that I would recommend necessarily for somebody that wants to be a pop singer, but it gave me some muscle up on my upper register that I hadn't had before.
I don't even know what chops means.
Oh, ask Willie, he'll tell you. Chops is it's your vocal, it's like your musical muscle, like your technique, your
musical muscle. I see.
Your musical abilities,
okay.
Yes.
Tell me about you mentioned your father. He's in his 70s. Is he still active in his business?
Well, he just turned it over to my brother a little while ago, but he's still writing songs and singing and stuff.
He does write songs, but he also hardware stores, isn't that the family?
Yeah, I always thought it was music somehow that had something to do, you know, like musical hammers or something. I don't know.
Well,
somehow I always thought we were in the music business, but yes, yeah, I love hardware stores too. He's got a great one in Tucson.
Did you ever work in there?
I never worked there, no, but my whole family's in there. They all sing, my brothers and my cousins, and they're all down there, you know, singing and selling you tractors to plow your fields with.
Yeah.
It's a great hardware store. It's one of the real old-fashioned kind where you can still buy big bins of nails and real quality
with
stuff.
With the creaky wooden floors and stuff? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, for your birthday and other holidays and stuff, does Dad and Mom pack you up a load of hardware and ship it out?
They do, actually.
Yeah?
When I moved away from home, I got a little tool kit, you know, from my dad with a crescent wrench and all the stuff I'd need.
Dear Linda, hope you enjoy the C-clamp. Love, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm into that kind of stuff.
Well, that's great. That's terrific.
Hardware stores and stationery stores, you know, bookstores. Those are the kind of stores I like. You know.
And your great-grandfather, correct me if any of this is wrong, your great-grandfather invented, you fill in the blank.
My grandfather invented the electric stove, actually, yeah.
Your grandfather invented the electric stove.
And the rubber ice tray, the opposite here. Something to heat it up and something to cool it down.
The rubber ice tray.
Yeah.
I think that is the single most important contribution to society.
It was more important than the electric stove, as it turned out.
And also one other one that I was told about.
He invented a pneumatic grease gun. Oh, he invented a lot of stuff.
Well,
toasters and stuff. He invented a lot of stuff.
Well, you come from a very successful family, and obviously carrying on the tradition.
Well, he wasn't a very good singer.
Yeah, but could you, theoretically, in your wildest imaginations, could you have invented the grease gun?
No.
Well, there you go. It all balances out like that. Sure. What kind of a kid were you? What in high school? Did you have a nice time in high school?
Hopeless in high school. I was bouncing off the walls. I was very nervous, I think, looking back on it. And I always liked music, and it was kind of all I cared about. Music and books, that was what I liked.
Did you go to public school, private school?
I went to a private school. I went to Catholic school when I was little, you know, and that didn't sit with me very well.
Did you rebel at all, or did you pretty much keep this?
I just tuned them out. I went to, there was one year that I know it was really good, but where I changed schools and went to, I think it depends on what order of nuns you get. You know, there's some of those women that are real educated and well, you know, they're kind of enlightened and they actually have a gift for teaching, and some of them that are just, you know, hiding behind these kind of strange medieval costumes that they wear. I mean, it's very odd. It is very strange to put on a medieval costume and walk around the streets these days. I mean, I think it's much weirder than dyeing your hair green, you know?
Yeah.
It really is. You know, they put these big starched wings on and they don't have sex, and it's very, very weird. And I don't really think I have a great deal of respect for it. I thought for a while that maybe I would. I mean, if you're a Jesuit or something like that, maybe. You know,
so you
they
didn't
learn Greek and Latin.
It was not easy going for you then in high school.
And I thought it was unnatural, and I think I was right too. But I mean, who cares? You know, I mean, I didn't really come on here to make some big harangue against the Catholic Church, because people need religion. They reinvent it every time somebody comes and stamps it out. Some fool comes along and reinvents it and ruins the culture again. You know. So you can tell that I'm a very devout person. But
now you're getting ready to go on the road with you. This show you're going to start. You kick it off at Radio City, right?
Radio City, yeah, that's this weekend.
Yeah, and you're going to go all across the country?
No, we don't know whether we can yet or not. We're not sure whether we're trying to see if there's going to be a demand for this kind of music, basically. You know, although people seem to be buying tickets at Radio City, I'm delighted. We were kind of afraid they wouldn't.
If really,
they did,
because this is such a strange kind of thing for you to be doing suddenly.
When you throw something new at the public, you just never know how they're going to react. You know, because money's tight these days, and people don't know what they're going to do. I mean, $35 is a lot to ask for somebody. You know, they want to make sure that. You know, they have to get a babysitter, and they have to go, and you know, and you have to kind of charge that if you're going to have a 45-piece.
But it's going to be a night of beautiful music. There's no getting around that.
I think it will be if I don't forget what I'm doing.
What do you do when you, assuming you get permission to continue with this tour? What do you do to keep yourself? You have hobbies? You do anything? I mean. I
read all the time. That's what I like to do. I carry around a bunch of books.
Like what kind of stuff?
Well, I like to read history a lot, and I like to read classics. So 19th century classics I especially like.
Yeah. Anything for fun? I mean, do you ever...
That's what I read.
That's fun, huh? Yeah.
You're setting a bad example out there.
What about, tell me about La Boheme. You're going from torch song classics with Nelson Riddle to classic Italian opera.
Well, we'll see. Now, Joe Papp has been talking about doing this opera. It was an idea of Will Leach, the guy that directed Pirates of Penzance. And I mean, Puccini really wrote for the masses, and he wrote for the natural voice, which are the two things that I think his operas have going for them in terms of translating them over to the, to a general audience. I mean, that kind of music has been state subsidized, and it's been preserved in places like the Metropolitan Opera.
How soon would you be doing this?
Well, we're maybe in the springtime.
Yeah. Well,
we were going to do it last summer, but I just didn't think I could learn it in
You've
time.
been very busy.
Yeah.
And that's a tough thing to do. Linda, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Oh, it's nice to meet you, too.
Nice to meet you. We'll get you some more cupcakes. Thank you, folks. We're nearly out of time. Linda, thank you very much for being here. It was a delight to meet you. I appreciate you taking the time. Also, my thanks to Jerry Seinfeld and Charles Grodin. We'll see you tomorrow night, folks. Andy Kaufman will be here then. Good night.
Here you go.
Then the door must be forced. Hey, servant!
Wait, sir. Would you actually public your wife?
Of course not. I was wrong. It can all be done quietly, with no scandal in front of the servants. I'll go myself now and fetch the tools to do it. Billy, I request that you come with me. Allow me to escort you. We go now.
So much better than that we're going.
Susanna will waiting till we return.